Welcome everyone. I got the brilliant idea to start recording myself making digital art and talking about a plethora of topics related to the piece I'm working on. For those of you wondering what program I'm using, it's Paint.net. I will also note I usually use the line tool over draw with the cursor tool because of my twitchy hands. Anyways, thanks for listening to this intro bit. Sit back and enjoy the show. As I just got done saying in the previous section before the cut, I got the brilliant idea to start recording myself making digital art. And thanks to this video's position as the first of its kind, that allows me to talk about what got me to make this sort of style of video. Albeit, it's pretty simple. I like drawing, I like talking, I like video editing. Bada bing, bada boom. We've got that. All in one package. Now with that out of the way, I can get to talking about the piece itself. If you were following the footage, you've probably seen that in the original sketches, the text Rock Fairy can be seen. And initially, these Chimera-looking Pokemon, or Fakemon, I may add, were going to be, Rock Fairy type. I decided to go against this because I enjoyed the idea of them being Dark Fairy type over Rock Fairy type. Because even though the Fakemon will have an extra mythological whatever the heck going on with the typing, I thought it would just make more sense to make them dark rather than rock because that seemed like more better aesthetic choice. On the topic of that mythological what's-it, these Fakemon designs were based on the mythological Greek Chimera. And as the telling that I will link to spells out, the Greek Chimera was killed by a hunk of lead being shoved in its throat and it melting to suffocate her. As a result of that particular lead mention, I wanted these Fakemon to be weak to steel, and thus the fairy type came in. Because, among other things, the steel type was, super effective against fairy. And the closest thing to lead, i.e. a metal, would be the steel type, because steel type is basically metal type. This is where the discussion will change to less about the piece itself and more about a thing related to the piece for everyone who's interested. For the record, the telling that involved the Chimera's death was made by overly sarcastic productions on YouTube. Besides the fact that I watch a lot of educational channels on YouTube, I will come out and say that OVCS Productions has very much saved my bacon on several occasions. Particularly, OVCS Productions kept me going intellectually, it kept me going entertainment-wise, and it also made several things possible in my life that wouldn't have otherwise happened. Going chronologically, whenever I was in homeschool for my freshman year of high school, I, like many kids, was forced to read Homer's Odyssey. But the catch, among other things, was despite the fact that this program usually linked to the text that they were talking about, the people making the program randomly decided, you know what, let's make these fucking 14-year-olds find copies of the Odyssey because we're too lazy to actually link to it, without saying a word of this to the students in question, including myself. Whenever you clicked on the assignment link, it would literally just say, read this chapter of the Odyssey, and then immediately take you to the questions, which is really fucking stupid. Due to all of this BS, 14-year-old me was fucking livid at this shit and absolutely hated the Odyssey and anything having to do with it. Until I ran into OVCS Productions. Their videos almost single-handedly made me regain hope in learning, and thus led to me finding a lot of other educational channels that, kept that drive going. By the time my senior year in high school rolled around, I was able to, thanks to their wealth of content, get my high school's Mythology club running, and thus led to the Mythology class that came the next year. Overall, I'm really happy that OVCS Productions started making their content in such a way that allowed me to keep wanting to learn. And what's doubly awesome for me is that I both enjoy history and mythology and writing and animations. So of course I fell ass backward into loving every bit of their content. Anyways, getting back to the piece itself, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Ba-ba-da. Enjoy your day.